from the intersections of Clay and Carey Street in Monrovia. Good evening, welcome to Freedom Evening News Basket, a 45-minute news presentation of all of the latest news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our global village. Today is Tuesday, is March 1, 2022, and these are the big developments making news on today's edition with me, Hagar Gonda, presenting. President George Weah officially dedicates the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Dynasty Center, the first Dynasty Center to ever operate in Liberia. Notorious criminal Nicky Brown sentenced to 18 years imprisonment by criminal code D for armed robbery carried out on the old road. Race to replace Senator-elect Bernie Samukai will soon begin as Senate officially receives National Elections Commission $2 million budget to conduct by-election in Lofa County. In away from Liberia, South Africa's ambassador to Ukraine has told the BBC he has had no choice but to leave the capital Kiev as an IMO Russian convoy is heading to this city. The detail of these plus many more, including the passion of live sports, the actual voices of those behind the news, the bulletin of news, are all packaged onto this edition. We're taking a short break to be right back. Thanks for rejoining us at this junction. We cross over to the news center where Esther Daku is pretty seated to read for us the bulletin of news. Esther, good evening, welcome.
Good evening, Hagar. Good evening, Liberia. President George Weah has officially opened Liberia's first data center named in honor of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Speaking Tuesday at a program marking the opening of the EJS Dialysis Center in Cinco, President Weah noted that the event marks an important milestone towards the effort of providing comprehensive and modern health facilities for Liberians. The facility consists of 10 beds, which the Liberian leader termed as a good beginning, even though he said it is insufficient to address the needs of the entire country. He said the lack of dialysis center in the country have been too costly for citizens who have to seek treatment outside Liberia, noting that it had been a challenge to healthcare delivery in the country. However, President Weah maintained that for the first time in the history of this country, everyone will now get affordable dialysis treatment in Liberia. The project was initiated by the administration of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Meanwhile, Health Minister Dr. Wilhelmina Jala, who commended partners for their support to the project, said it was saddening that for every 10 people suffering from illness due to lack of dialysis center, 8 will die. Dr. Jala further noted the Liberians must now celebrate the operation of the center because citizens will not leave the country now but rather take treatment in their homeland. At the same time, the chief medical officer of JFK, Dr. Jerry Brown, said having a dialysis unit had been a long-time dream, especially under the leadership of President Weah. This dream, according to him, also extends to improving infrastructure development, building human capacities, and bringing in equipment to increase dialysis capacities. Moreover, Dr. Brown has urged the management of the center to utilize the facility properly, but emphasized the need for the government support to the process through resource mobilization and sustainable energy supply. A notorious criminal, Nicky Brown, has been sentenced to 18 years at the Monrovia Central Prison or Correction Palace located in Grand Jida County for armed robbery. Criminal Kodi presiding George Usman Feka Tuesday, George defended Naki guilty for armed robbery with 18 years imprisonment after he openly confessed committing crime in 2021 on the old road. Judge Feka's March 1 judgment, according to our court reporter, further stated that defendant Brown's action violated Chapter 15, Section 15.32 of the Penal Law when he threatened to kill the victims by placing them under gunpoint and forcibly taking away valuables belonging to them. The defendant persistence investigation report from the probation office of Montserrat County attributed significantly to his 18 years imprisonment after the report indicted him to 10 armed robbery operations in the country. Our correspondent further revealed that defendant Brown, aged 32, will complete his sentence at the age of 50. The National Elections Commission budget to conduct a by-election in Lofa County has finally been received by the Liberian Senate. The budget is in a tune of 2 million United States dollars for the conduct of the Lofa County by-election. Recently, the Liberian Senate voted the National Elections Commission declaring Lofa County senator seat vacant amidst a legal battle that was lingering over the head of former Defense Minister Brandon Samuka, who won the Lofa County senatorial seat in December 2020. Former Defense Minister Samuka was convicted in 2021 by the Supreme Court of Liberia for mismanagement of the Armed Forces of Liberia money during the administration of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. The 2 million United States dollars, as requested by the NEC, when approved by the Senate, will pave the way for a by-election in the county to elect a person who will replace the outgoing Senator-elect Samuka. Meanwhile, following the reading of the communication from NEC Tuesday in plenary, the communication was forwarded to the Senate's Committee on Ways, Means, Finance and Budget, an autonomous commission to work along with the House of Representatives to report in 2 weeks. A hybrid mission team from the International Monetary Fund has arrived in Liberia to review the fourth article of the 4-year arrangement under the Extended Credit Facility Program. Under the Extended Credit Facility Program, the IMF provides financial assistance to countries with protracted balance of payments problem. Receiving the guest Tuesday, Finance Minister Samuel Tuere disclosed that the government is making efforts aimed at completing processes relating to the country's economic growth and development, especially during global crisis. For his part, IMF mission head Christopher Klingen said the team is in Liberia to receive the fourth article and to have a consultation on the next program review. Klingen indicated that they are checking stock to know where the mission could focus on the growth and potential of the country. He stated that the team will also reach out to the Central Bank of Liberia to look at the monitoring policies instituted. The presiding justice and chamber of the Supreme Court has lifted the stay order placed on the criminal trial of GT Bank Liberia Limited on allegation of 900,000 United States dollars theft. Recently, Associate Justice James Eto Wolokoli ordered Judge Siafa Kerry to stop all proceedings on the bank prosecution at Criminal Court C after the bank's legal team questioned Judge Kerry's contempt charges against some officials of the bank. Justice Wolokoli, February 28, a decision according to our correspondent ordered to court the Circuit Court judge to resume jurisdiction over the matter for the appearance of GT Bank manager Akinia Anakwi and his 2 deputies will remain on hold until this Thursday, March 3rd. Our judicial correspondent further noted that the bank's lawyers are fighting legally to overturn Judge Kerry's February 22nd contempt charge regarding the bank manager and 2 others' daily appearances in court for prosecution. GT Bank Liberia Limited is currently facing criminal prosecution at Criminal Court C for allegedly stealing over 900,000 United States dollars from Kailando Petroleum Incorporated. Senate Pro Tempore Abache is calling on various standing committees of the Senate to work in ensuring that decisions are made on all reports to committee room before their Easter break. According to Grand Crew County Senator, there is huge work currently in committee rooms, stressing the importance for Senate to swiftly review the various committees' reports. Pro Tem Abache indicated that based on a hint from the House of Representatives regarding the timeline for their Easter break, members of the Liberian Senate might honor the break on the 18th or 25th of March this year. The United Nations Office for Project Services Cities Alliance and the Forbes Institute has ended a capacity building training for governmental officials in financial management, community based enterprises, and small medium enterprises in solid waste management. The training, which lasted for 8 days at the Corina Hotel in Singapore, will strengthen the capacity of government officials to manage and provide overall oversight to the microloan facility to serve the solid waste sector, as well as empower CBEs and SMEs to venture into recycling and composting of plastic and organic waste. Speaking at the end of the training Tuesday, the country program manager of City Alliance, Francesco Lopez, cautioned participants to practice what they have learned. According to Lopez, participants should delegate some resources to vent into composting and recycling waste for the betterment of their community while encouraging them to be united. Meanwhile, Forbes Institute CEO Harold Azio Dolce encourages participants to partner with people who are like-minded as a way of assessing new chances as well as trusting one another in order to succeed. Participants for the lauded Forbes Institute and City Alliance for the training and promise to work in the solid waste management sector to keep communities in Liberia clean. Several civil society groups in Nema County are calling on the government of Liberia to consider its recommendations reached during a consultative Nema conference held in Sanikole, Nema County. According to Nema Quado, which is an umbrella organization of Nimadians in Liberia, in partnership with the Conference Committee of the Nimadians for Better Deal, an initial petition submitted by civil society and stakeholders of Nema was presented to the House of Representatives on December 2nd, 2021. Reading the group statement, the chair of the conference committee, Harrison Lord, named the issues of housing, school system, and hospitals at the Salamita Liberia operation areas to pre-war status, among others, as key things that must be considered by government. He further that there are mixed information currently coming out of the legislature, especially since the group presented the petition to that body, including a Facebook post from Vice President Joa Howard Taylor on February 24, 2022. Luo quoted the VP post on her official Facebook page as disclosing that a plenary of the Liberian Senate has concurred with the House of Representatives in passing the 10th Amendment to the Mineral Development Agreement between the Government of Liberia and the Salamita Liberia. And the Director General of Renaissance Communications Incorporated, Liability, is admonishing young people to consider teamwork in their quest for success, serving as guest speaker during the 16th commencement convocation of the Condor of Potentials over the weekend in Pinsville. Liability noted that working as a team in any endeavor, it is important to help young people be strong, especially in the midst of challenges. According to him, young people who wish to go far in life must work as a team and at the same time reference God as a way of overcoming difficulties and obstacles that could arise. Bedete, who is a representative aspirant in Montserrado County District 4, cautioned graduates to serve as ambassadors for the institution as they go out to contribute to the growth and development of their country, emphasizing that if Liberia must be developed, it will require the collective efforts of every Liberian. Bedete, who is also the chief executive officer of Bilicon Entertainment, stressed that there are more opportunities for young people, but achieving them requires teamwork for the benefit of all. And that is the shift of the news bulletin. Is back to you, Hagar Gonda.
Many thanks to Esther Daku for the reading of the news bulletin. It is a regular feature on this and every edition of Freedom Evening News Basket. Of course, Esther will return later on in the news for the foreign developments. If you're just joining us, it's a reminder that you're listening to Freedom Evening News Basket, a 45-minute news presentation of all of the latest news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our global village. In one of the top developments we carrying this evening, raised to replace Senator-elect Bernie Samokai will soon as Senate officially receives national budget or National Elections Commission $2 million budget to conduct by-elections in Lofa County. Let's now bring you the actual voices of those behind the news, beginning with this. President George Weah has officially opened Liberia's first dialysis center, named in honor of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. The facility consists of 10 beds, which the Liberian leader termed as a good beginning, even though he said it is insufficient to address the needs of the entire country. The EJS Dialysis Center in Sinkor is being described as an important milestone towards the effort of providing comprehensive and modern health facilities for the country. Our reporter Esther Daku has more on that development.
Dialysis treatment abroad following the opening of the first ever dialysis treatment center in the country after being in pipeline for almost 9 years. The lack of dialysis centers, according to health officials, has had a serious setback to the country's health delivery system before its construction and setup. Though being initiated by former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, President George Weah, upon his inception into power, also see the need that the initiative that had been in the pipeline for years be a fast track to enable citizens to survive from dialysis illnesses, named the EJS Dialysis Center in honor of its predecessor, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. President George Weah, at the official opening of the center Tuesday, noted that the project is a millstone towards providing comprehensive and modern health facilities for Liberians. The facility, which consists of 10 beds, will help reduce huge expenditure made by Liberians who go abroad to seek dialysis treatment, according to President Weah.
I'm pleased to be here to participate in the opening ceremony of the first Liberia National Dialysis Center. It is an important milestone in our effort to provide comprehensive modern health facility to the people of Nigeria. In so doing, I would like to acknowledge the commendable initiative taken by my predecessor, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, former Minister of Health, Dr. Walter Winogari, and our then Ambassador to Japan, Madam Donko Kalauda. On behalf of the government and people of Liberia, I would like to extend warm thanks and a deep appreciation to Dr. Tokuda Tayo, the founder and chairman of the board of administrators of the Kusuka Medical Corporation, for his kindness, without which this project has taken much longer to realize. I would also like to thank the chairman of the Tokusuka, Dr. Oposu, for his continual support to the project. Finally, it is important to acknowledge the strong support and important contributions of our international partner in this project, particularly the World Bank, ECOWAS, the World Health. This is a journey that began a decade ago, and today, as we are opening the doors to provide access to much needed dialysis here in Liberia. Too long, Liberians have had to travel out of the country to seek dialysis, and no one needs to tell you how possible. It is with great pleasure that I officially declare this National Dialysis Center the EJS Dialysis Center in honor of former President Madam Ellen Johnson.
For her part, Health Minister Dr. Wilhelmina Jala, who commended partners for their support to the project, said it was saddening that for every 10 people suffering from illness due to lack of dialysis center, 8 will die. Dr. Jala further noted that Liberians must now celebrate the operation of the center because citizens will not leave the country now, but rather take treatment in their homeland.
Today, March 1st, 2022, Mr. President, we are making history.
This important occasion is one that began about 10 years ago, and today that dream is being realized. So strategic planning and collaboration have brought us where we are today. And so everyone who has made this a reality has here. Let me take this time to extend special thanks to Ambassador Talawea, who was the current ambassador of Japan. So Honorable J.B. Martin, who took the matter from January to June of 2018. So Dr. Malenga, who pushed us all the time, called day and night to Japan, that we were on target. To the World Bank, WHO, for granting us the opportunity to do this. The World Bank was responsible for buying our first set of consumables, as well as securing a maintenance contract for the equipment for at least 3 years. So we want to also mention some of the people that, in other words, will not be mentioned. We want to mention Councilor Abla William, the documents and issue we received it. We want to thank Noel Howard. We want to thank Christine and all of the people in my department, the nursing department, and the doctors that came to support us.
Dr. Jerry Brown, JFK Chief Medical Officer, has long dreamed of having a dialysis center, but noted that his dream also extends to improving infrastructure development, building hemocapacities, and bringing in equipment to increase dialysis capacities. Dr. Brown similarly expressed regret over the negative effects the lack of dialysis has caused to the Liberian medical sector.
Personally, it is an honor to speak at this historic occasion. It is also a blessing to live and see this happen during my lifetime. It has been a long time since we dreamed having a dialysis unit at our institution, the John F. Kennedy Medical Center. Especially so when we always try to ensure that during this dispensation or during the administration of our president, we strive to reduce referral out of Liberia by 50% as much as possible. Hence, our dream has been to build on our infrastructural development, to build our human resource capacity, and also strive to bring in equipment to improve our diagnostic capacity. However, while we strive to do that, I would like to take you back, Mr. President, a little into our history so that we all understand the essence of this unit. For some reason or the other, over the years, I found myself being part of some of the events I'm about to talk about. I just mentioned the late Dr. Ibrahim Bobo, who was once my teacher on internal medicine, and yet we do nothing. There were many other Liberians we lost to renal disease. That saved them if we had this opportunity. Then came COVID. Again, we managed so many COVID patients and lost a few of them again to renal disease because we had no means of doing dialysis.
But utilizing the facility is also his concern, for which he wants the project to be supported through resource mobilization. As a result, Dr. Brown further emphasized the importance of a sustainable power source for the center through the provision of solar electricity.
Recognizing the importance of this unit, Mr. President, I want to stress one key point that we all need to look at the practice. That has to do with maintenance. Opening a unit today is one thing, but maintaining it such that it will continue in existence is another thing. And to do so, we need to build on a couple of things. One, our human resource capacity. We must build. We must train our doctors to become nephrologists, because the professors that were brought up here are not going to. The nurses need to be trained and brought up to the level of the nurse that was brought here. Else, we can't maintain it. At the right human resource capacity, we can't maintain a unit. Other thing we need to look at is energy supply, power source. We don't have a sustainable power source with this unit. Some of the ongoing dialysis, and that's the end. Hence, the importance of having a solar unit attached to this generator is important, very, very important. Outreach, we run into practice. The next thing is consumable. Many of the things we use for this, that we are going to use at this unit, are not available in Liberia. We have to procure them internationally. So some of the bottlenecks or challenges we encounter, I agree, I'm not saying that the PPCC policy is wrong. No, I'm not saying. Respect them highly. But when it comes to the saving of life, we must put in certain clauses to enable GFK to purchase the essential consumables. So except we look into the future, try to maintain this unit appropriately, we will sooner or later say we once had a dialysis unit, which we don't want to say.
The expansion of this facility to other parts of Liberia is also key, as was emphasized by President George Weah. I am Esther Dako reporting from the compound of the John F. Kennedy Health Center in Monrovia.
The National Elections Commission budget to conduct a by-election in Lofa County has finally been received by members of the Liberian Senate. The budget, which is in the tune of over 2 million United States dollars, is aimed at conducting by-election in Lofa County. Recently, the Liberian Senate wrote the National Elections Commission declaring the Lofa County senatorial seat vacant amidst a legal battle that was lingering over the head of former Defense Minister Brani Samukai, who won the Lofa County senatorial seat in December 2020. Assistant Senate Secretary Genevieve Masakwe read the NEC's communication to plenary in session on Tuesday.
Friends, budget and timeline for local county senatorial by-election. Dear Mr. President Pro Tempore, on behalf of the National Elections Commission NEC, I convey compliments and herewith submit to your honorable office budget in the tune of US $1,934,720.80 for the conduct of the senatorial by-election in local county as per the 16th February 2022 House of Senate notification of a vacancy. Please see enclosed budget for your consideration and a timeline of activities, including the proposed dates for the conduction of the senatorial by-election. Honorable Pro Tem, the Commission avails itself to providing additional information and clarification should there be any questions or concerns. Kind regards, sincerely, David Ezra Brown, Lansana, Chairperson. Mr. Pro Tem and distinguished senators, the reading for communication from the Chairperson of the National Elections Commission. Next.
Genevieve Masakwe is the Assistant Senate Secretary there reading the communication from the National Elections Commission proposing a budget of over 2 million United States dollars for the conduct of a by-election in Lofa County. The United Nations Office for Project Services, Cities Alliance, and the Forbes Institute has ended a capacity building training for governmental officials in financial management, community-based enterprises, and small medium enterprises in solid waste management. The training, which lasted for 8 days at the Corina Hotel in Sinkor, will strengthen the capacity of government officials to manage and provide overall oversight through the microloan facility to serve the solid waste management, as well as empower CBEs and MSE to venture into recycling and composting of plastic and organic waste. Speaking at the end of the training Tuesday, the country's program manager of City Alliance, Francisco Lopez, cautioned participants to practice what they have learned.
I hope this training helps you to start your own entrepreneurial activities. I want to echo the words of my predecessor speaker, saying that, now it's time to move into practice. We have been working along with you. We have been doing a lot of training activities, soft components, let's say, soft activities, sensitization, some point capacity building, financial management, human resources management, and now more technical, composting, recycling. All of this is good, but all of this knowledge should need to materialize something that is tangible and something that generates, right? Generates what? Jobs, revenue, income, and of course, what is more important, also deliver a clean city, a better sanitation. So I encourage you to put effort on that. Now it's time to move on, dedicate some resources. Some CVs have gotten a loan from the Cities Alliance. This is managed now by the MLTC, the microloan facility.
Meanwhile, Forbes Institute CEO Harold Asun Donji encouraged participants to partner with people who are linked as like-minded as a way of accessing new chances, as well as trusting one another in order to succeed.
You can't go it alone. In the business world, you cannot go it alone. Try to partner with people who are like-minded, people who have the same interests as you. Reach understanding, negotiations, agreements, and go a longer mile. That's the only way you can capture bigger markets and even access huge funds. So partnership is very important. And you also need to trust. You can't engage yourself in business
Senate President Pro Tem Abache is calling on various standing committees of the Senate to work in ensuring that decisions are made on all reports in committee room before their Easter break. According to the Grand Crew County Senator, there is huge work currently in committee rooms, stressing the importance for the Senate to swiftly review the various committees' report. Pro Tem Chied indicated that based on a hint from the House of Representatives regarding the timeline for their Easter break, members of the Liberian Senate might honor the break on the 18th or the 25th of March this year.
So those that need to do retreat, we need to continue, judiciary need to continue the retreat so that we'll clear most of those things. And other committees, we need to report, please. Either the 18th or the 24th will close. Either or.
Senate Pro Tem Abbott Chie there speaking. With the time at 27 minutes up to 8 o'clock at this junction, we cross over to the Sports Center where our sports reporter Gerard Morris is ably seated to bring us the portion of live. Gerard, good evening, welcome.
Good evening.
Bring you more developments on the program Freedom Evening News Basket. A Habra mission team from the International Monetary Fund has arrived in Liberia to review the fourth article of the 4-year arrangement under the Extended Credit Facility Program. Under the Extended Credit Facility Program, the IMF provides financial assistance to countries with protracted balance of payment problems. Receiving the guest Tuesday, Finance Minister Samuel Tua disclosed that the government is making efforts aimed at completing processes relating to the country's economic growth and development, especially during this global crisis. We sincerely apologize that we cannot lay our hands on that, except we hope to bring you more on that development during our subsequent news presentation here. Several civil society groups in Nimba County are calling on the government of Liberia to consider its recommendations reached during a consultative Nimba conference held in San Quintin, Nimba County. According to Nimba Kwado, which is an umbrella organization of Nimbayans in Liberia in partnership with the Conference Committee of Nimbayans for Better Due, an initial petition submitted by civil society and stakeholders of Nimba was presented to the House of Representatives on December 2, 2021. Reading the group statement, the chair of the Conference Committee, Harrison Luo, named the issues of housing, school system, and hospitals at the Arsenal Metal Liberia operation areas to pre-war status, among others, as key things that must be considered by the government. He further that there are misinformation currently coming out of the legislature, especially since the group presented their petition to that body, including a Facebook post from Vice President Joel Howard Taylor on February 24, 2022.
Nimba Kwado, an umbrella organization of Nimbayans in Liberia, in conjunction with the Conference Committee of the Nimbayans for Better Deal, wishes to call on the government of Liberia to consider its recommendation that came out of the consultative Nimba conference held in Senegal, Nimba County, as an addendum to initial petition submitted by civil society and stakeholders of Nimba presented to the House of Representatives on December 2, 2021, under the banner of the collaboration of Nimba citizens, CNC. The conference was convened on January 8, 2022, which as chair as a platform for Nimbayans and other interest groups to brainstorm key issues coming out of the proposed Asila Mita Liberia New Deal that is expected to have then stay in Liberia up to 2049. The recommendations from the conference have since been delivered to the leadership of the Liberian Senate for consideration. Some of the basic issues contained in the recommendations included but not limited to bringing the infrastructures and basic social services like housing, school system, and hospitals at the Asila Mita Liberia operation areas to pre-war status. Prioritizing employment opportunities for qualified Nimbayans and other affected communities. Maintaining the railway and the Port of Buchanan as national assets due to its revenue generation potential, especially as the prospect for the mining of the Guinean portion of the Nimba Mountain draws closer, among others. It has been nearly 2 months since the conference was held, and there seems to be no clear information on the status of the deal. However, our people continue to receive misinformation and signal from senior government sources that the deal is already done. The latest was in February 24, 2022, in which it was indicated by the Office of the Vice President of Liberia through her Facebook page that the plenary of the Liberian Senate has concurred with the House of Representatives in passing the third amendment to the MITA, the Mineral Development Agreement between the government of Liberia and the Asila Mita Liberia. Another information is that the deal was passed as it was presented by Asila Mita Liberia and the executive branch of the Liberian government without a single consideration of the many recommendations proffered by the Nimba people. As we are aware, the mountain in question is in Nimba, and the county hosts the general and primary operations of Asila Mita Liberia since the inception of its mining operation in 2014. As such, Nimbayans in general and the affected communities in particular continue to live through hazardous conditions and its associated risks of mining operations of that magnitude, while the mineral resources are extracted with limited or no benefit to the host communities.
Harrison Luo is the chair of the Nimba conference there, speaking to a team of reporters in Monrovia. The intellectual class of Painesville has called on the Liberian Senate not to concur with the lower house on the amendment of Section 7.32 of the election laws of Liberia. Speaking Thursday at a press conference held in Painesville, the group chairman, Prince Gonkwe, said the decision of the lower house to amend registration fees for elected officials is intended to move the country to authoritarian rule. Gonkwe said the decision is also in the interest of lawmakers who want to perpetuate themselves in power to the detriment of ordinary Liberians who might be seen as the best choice to replace them. Mr. Gonkwe also wants the Liberian National Police to speed up investigations in all allegations of rape across the country. Let's listen to Prince Arvin Gonkwe, who addressed the statement on behalf of his organization. Sorry, we can lay our hands on that, except at this junction we cross over to Esther Daku, who is seated to bring for us the foreign development. Esther, welcome back.
South Africa's ambassador to Ukraine has told the BBC he has no choice but to leave the capital Kyiv as an armored Russian convoy is heading to the city. Audrey Gonowart said explosions could be heard in the distance as he parked the car to leave on Wednesday morning. He is now traveling south in the convoy of two vehicles with his wife, three children, and the last remaining embassy staff towards Romania or Hungary. He said he and other colleagues and ambassadors have been working hard to secure the exit of South Africans and other foreigners from Ukraine, some of whom have faced racism as they tried to flee. He added that they have heard all about these accusations and seen the videos, and we are concerned. South Africans ambassadors in Poland and Hungary have also gone to the borders to help people get through, he said. According to the ambassador, part of the problem was that initially only Ukrainian women and children were being allowed through, and as officials from Ukraine were sticking strictly to these instructions, this had impeded all the foreigners. He denounced the discrimination, adding that bombs don't discriminate. Sudan has expressed support for talks to end the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. The state-run Sudan news agency has reported. The Paris-based Sudan Tribune website reported on Monday that Sudan was under pressure
Just before we take leave of you, these were the big developments that made headlines on today's edition of Freedom Evening News Basket. President George Weah officially dedicated the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Dynasty Center, the first Dynasty Center to ever operate in Liberia. Notorious criminal Nikki Brown sentenced to 18-year imprisonment by criminal code D for armed robbery carried out on the old road. Race to replace Senator-elect Bernie Samukai will soon begin as Senate officially receives National Elections Commission $2 million budget to conduct by-elections in Lofa County. In a way from Liberia, South Africa's ambassador to Ukraine has told the BBC he has had no choice but to leave the capital Kiev as an armored Russian convoy is heading to the city. We'd love to say many thanks to all of our writers, reporters, editors, and contributors, and all those who helped in making to this edition of the program a success. Many thanks to the director of news and the editor-in-chief who helped to package to this edition of the program. Esther Daku read for you the bulletin of news and of course the foreign developments. Gerald Morris fighter in his post for and on behalf of the entire production team. My name is Hagar Gunner. Good evening from outside Monrovia.